We're going to talk about the full Pisces moon that's coming up on September 20th of 2021. And while a full moon is important because it's a sun opposing the moon, there's a push and pull of what drives us and how we're feeling, what we need, what our soul wants. There's also a lot of other activity going on. So let's get into the astrology of the full moon in Pisces on the 20th. Not only do we have that sun opposite moon, we also have some trines. We've got Mercury trine Jupiter, we've got Mars trine Saturn, and then we've also got Venus opposing Uranus. So these three aspects, four if you include obviously the full moon, are gonna allow us to really communicate well what it is that we're going for, what it is we're searching for, what it is we're looking to bring us fortune and luck and joy. And not only that, not only is it this like free-spirited energy, it's also that Mars trine Saturn. It is a good time to get things done. A full moon is already a great time for manifesting and bringing in energies, and the energy is at its max. But then that Mars trine Saturn is also just saying you really have the ability to get things moving and to take action in a disciplined way, so that what you want, the rewards that you're looking to reap, will be coming towards you, especially with that Mercury trine Jupiter. These two aspects together are working really well. Not to mention they're all in air signs, so in Libra and Aquarius. So it's all about ideas, it's about speaking up, it's about implementing an idea of community into your life a little bit more. And so then we've got that Venus opposite Uranus, which might show you that all of this work you've put in, everything, all the effort that you've put in, you might actually end up doing something completely different. And you might find that your path takes you towards a very different place than you thought you'd go, but you still will find value in it and you'll find excitement in it, and there will be joy in creation through just following the wacky, crazy things that might happen during this full moon. Just follow it. Be careful as well. Full moons are typically a very high energy time. So be on the watch and observe what's going on around you, because there's going to be a lot of action happening. So let's look at how to prepare for this full moon, what you need to know about this full moon in Pisces. And let me know if you like knowing about the new and full moons. I can do them every other week, or we can switch it up and do a different reading every week. So let me know in the comments if you really like doing the new and full moon readings. So let's get started.
All right, we're going with T's today. So pile number 1, your T is this Sweet Dreams. Pile 2 is this Be Divine T. And pile 3, No Worries.
All right, so pile number 1, you picked the Sweet Dreams tea. This is a chamomile and mugwort blend of tea. All of these teas are from Harvey Mountain Alchemy. You can shop them on my website, harveymountainalchemy.com. But this tea is amazing for knocking you out to sleep. I used to drink this all the time when I was struggling to fall asleep. This tea helped me so much with that. And then mugwort's also really good for having vivid dreams and lucid dreaming, if that's something you're interested in. So I love this tea. Fantastic to really knock you out, get you to sleep. So we're going to start with a Moonology card because it is a full moon. Let's see what you get this full Pisces moon. Prosperity lies ahead, the new moon in Taurus. Okay, so there's something about, so Venus might be really prominent for you because we have that Venus-Uranus opposition. Maybe there's some changes that need to be made in order to gain this prosperity that the new moon in Taurus is bringing you. Maybe this full moon is more about the release because we've got the new moon card here. That maybe it's about looking at where you were 6 months ago in the new moon in Pisces, to see how your relationship with Pisces has grown. So let's see what else comes up. I'm going to start off with this Muse. And let's see just what the moon opposite, or like the sun moon opposition has to bring you. And then we'll look at the other aspects as well. Oh boy. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. Wow, knowing your own worth is really strong with that, especially because Pisces has a tendency to self-deprecate or not see their own value. The Queen of Inspiration, and I'll show all of these cards to you as well. And one last one that I want. Well, the Hierophant jumped out, so we're going to keep it. So, what the new moon is bringing you. We've got this 9 of materials, so that's the 9 of Pentacles, the Queen of Inspiration, Queen of Wands, and the Hierophant. So there's a lot about going inward and seeing the worth that you have, because look at this 9 of Pentacles, where she's finally sharing with herself the beauty that maybe she shares with others. And Pisces can tend to sacrifice the self in the name of connection with others. So what you're doing for this full moon is to give yourself the kindness and love and compassion that you give others, to show to yourself that you are just as worthy of that love and appreciation as others are of yours. So that's fantastic. And then this Queen of Wands here too, she is Aries, and Aries is all about the self. Aries is about finding the independence and being self-sufficient and relying on the self. And this Queen of Wands knows that she's got it. So that's what I think this full moon in Pisces is really bringing you, is the sense of connection with others, but also connection with the self, and feeling really, really united with yourself. You know, I feel like there's sort of this divorce that's happening between your physical self and your emotional and spiritual self. That those need to kind of blend together. And so in the new moon in Pisces 6 months ago, maybe that's where it began, where we realized that there's a disconnection and a dissociation with the self. So blending all of your aspects of yourself together into this full moon in Pisces. And then we've got this Hierophant. You know, where are you conventional? Where aren't you conventional? Where do you break the rules? And Mars trine Saturn, maybe it's a really good time for you to break the rules. Maybe it's a really good time for you to take action and know that authority is on your side, whether you're following the rules or not. So that's what the full moon is bringing you. That's what the sun opposite moon is bringing you on the 20th. Now we have a lot of other aspects going on. So I do want to look at how Venus opposite Uranus is affecting you. Let's do that. Venus opposite Uranus. We've got the Page of Wands, the 10 of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So it is this very much like a beginning and ending energy here. So we started off with this Page of Wands here. So starting off on a journey of excitement, beginning, like forging your own path is really coming to mind here. And I want to say that your path is going to change. Just like I said in the intro about Venus, Uranus, that you may not be following the path that you thought you would be, but just follow the path that shows up in front of you, because that's where you need to follow the path that's in front of you, because it's got really good, valuable things to teach you. Especially with that Hierophant, there are lessons that need to be taught still about how you can love the self while assimilating with your community. So really following that path, I think, is very, very important. And the 10 of Swords, I think that's kind of an anxiety-ridden thing for you, to not know what to expect. We like to be sure and feel that security, that safety, right? That new moon in Taurus, to feel safe and secure. But knowing that you just follow whatever path is in front of you, you know, you're basically letting your feet lead instead of your brain or yourself. It's anxiety inducing, because who knows what's going to happen next. There's fear surrounding it. So about the fears, we need to just go in with the knowledge that this idea will bring fruitful abundance forward, that Saturn is on our side here. It's on the side of taking action. It's on the side of actual movement forward. We can't just sit back and expect things to happen for us. You know, and I feel like maybe there is a lot of this like active energy within you. Maybe there is restlessness going on within you right now. And it's funny that you picked this Sweet Dreams tea, right? Because it's like you need to just rest and fall back and allow and you know, you're trying to wash away this anxiety. I think it's actually better for you to use that anxious energy and to use that restlessness to move forward. Use that energy and really channel it, harness it forward so that you can make something of it rather than just blaming it. So that's what that Venus-Uranus is. You know, Venus really wants security and safety, and it's in Scorpio, so it almost wants to be hidden and just in its own little safe spot, shell, or, you know, in its home, which I know seems Cancerian, but Scorpio likes to hide in some ways. So Mars and Scorpio, you know, we kind of just want to stay fixated on what we're doing that's right in front of us, and feel secure. Whereas Uranus and Taurus is breaking up those conventional things that we've always held true. And it's changing things up in ways that we never would have expected. So sure, keep that one-track mind, but know that you are not in control of where you're heading at this point. It's just about accepting and following the path that is right in front of you. That's what really keeps coming forward with these pages. Okay, so Mars trine Saturn, I feel like has really already spoken for you. That does sort of speak of that that energy, that inner restlessness, because Mars is so high energy and Saturn can rule like the anxiety a little bit, that we're just sort of fueling the fire. So instead of just sitting in that anxiety and letting it take over, I say you take over your anxiety, you harness that energy into something productive and useful that you can value. So what we will talk about is this Mercury trine Jupiter. And we're going to look at the Relative Oracle, or not Relative Oracle, but the Relative Tarot deck by Carrie Paris. Love this deck. Let's see what we got. We've got the Nine of Swords. It's time to wake up from the bad dream. So I wouldn't be surprised if on the night of the full moon you had a bad dream, had a nightmare. Just kind of wake yourself up out of it. You've got the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. So I almost feel like there's this real attachment to the way things are right now. This feels more and more like still like that Venus-Uranus is really, really prominent in your chart. So I'm curious where Taurus and Scorpio are in your chart. If you're a Taurus rising or Scorpio rising, these could be happening in your 1st and 7th house of self and everybody else, your relationships with everybody else. So I do feel like there's this anxiety that's going on, and part of you is holding on to it because you know it. You may not be comfortable or happy with it, but it's something familiar and it almost at this point feels safe to you. So there's a need to release that anxiety, understand that that is not reality, that we are, that this anxiety is starting to take over and warp our sense of reality. We're really, really stuck in this mindset. But yeah, there's a need to change the way that you think things. This is a Five of Swords. 5 is the number of change. Swords is the suit of the mind. So it's about really, really shifting your perspective, the way that you think about what is conventional or what you think your path is going to be, what you always thought your path would be. It's time to change that up. I don't see much of Mercury, Jupiter showing up here. I feel like for you, there's some sort of Taurus, Scorpio. That axis in your chart is quite important. Maybe it's your midheaven and Nadir, which are the 10th and 4th house. And so that's what's really prominent here. The whole theme of this reading is just saying you need to fully embrace the self, accept the self in all of your conventional and non-conventional ways, what sets you apart from others, what makes you valuable because it's unique, and forging your own path, but knowing that that path is there for you whether you forge it or not. It's going to show up for you. So say, you were building your career on yourself. You have to rely on yourself to get your career going. First things first is you have to embrace how valuable you are, that you have something to offer somebody else. And then maybe you thought your business would be in this place. It would be always going in this direction, but suddenly there's a door that's open that's telling you to go this way. Don't hold on so much to what your expectations were of it. Just release the expectations and move forward in this new path, because it's going to bring you a lot of abundance. Mars trine Saturn. By taking action, by moving forward, you're going to reap rewards. That's what's really important here. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope you've had a wonderful week, and I hope you enjoy this lunation. A full moon in Pisces is a great time to manifest things in a spiritual sense, in an emotional sense. We need emotional connection. So I will see you next time. Let me know which of these cards resonated with you the most in the comments. Bye. Hello, pile 2. I've got your Be Divine tea here. I love this tea. It's from Harvey Mountain Alchemy, so you can shop that on my website, harveymountainalchemy.com. This tea is a rosebud and petal and nettle leaf blend. I love this tea for honestly, mostly for just chilling out. And, if I have a reading to do and I need to really ground and center myself, I like to drink this tea before it so that I know I am really connected to my own inner divinity. So that's what this tea is. Let's see what the full moon has to offer you. We're going to start off with a Moonology card, as we should on a full or new moon. Let's see what's coming up for you. Your commitment is being tested, the first quarter moon. All right, so the moon is just getting a little bit larger after the new moon. It's past balsamic phase, so something has started, something is in the works. But yeah, you're being asked to commit to it. So let's see what this full moon has to bring to you, and then we will also look at what the other aspects have to bring you, because they're so important, they're so prominent. So if you're curious which of these aspects would affect you more or in what way, you should look at your chart and see, because they are in Libra, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. Those are the signs that we're dealing with, and then the full moon in Pisces and Virgo. So if you have any of those signs in really prominent placements in your chart, that's how those planets are going to affect you some more. If you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. So the full moon, we've got the Page of Swords so far, Page of Voices, we've got the Seven of Voices. Let's see, there it is. And the Queen of Voices. Wow. So a lot of swords here, a lot about, I would say there's definitely some Libra Aquarius in your chart. If that's that Jupiter, Mercury trine, and then that Saturn Mars trine. So the Page of Swords, which is saying it's time to kind of get your glasses on, get your lenses on so that you can see properly and you can see clearly. It's preparing to really do the work, right? Your commitment is being tested here. So it's almost like do the work, really put your glasses on, get down into the nitty gritty of it all. We've got the Seven of Swords, which always reminds me of the Justice card. So I almost feel like there's a need to weigh out the pros and cons of whatever it is that you're dealing with this full moon in Pisces. There's something about just these two cards together really gave me the idea of we need to look at things from a very clear point of view, almost having to be very objective when it comes to what's going on in your life right now, the circumstances. If there is a lot of Libra going on in your chart, I do feel like there's relationships that need to be looked at and reviewed, and your commitment is being tested, and it's okay to say, actually, I'm not that committed, if it means that your life will actually be better off by saying goodbye. So I do think, and that was just one message that came through. This could be showing up in other ways as well. Like if there is a lot of Aquarius going on in your chart too, there's maybe something about finding really, finding good channels of progress in your life, finding good channels of working towards what you truly believe in, and having to put your glasses on and really figure out what is it that you believe in? What sort of progress are you trying to contribute to? And then we've got the Queen of Swords. So I almost feel like there's a lot about solidifying what it is you want to say, what it is that you really do think, being really honest about what you believe in and what you value, and who you choose to be and who you choose to be with. So relationships could be at the forefront of this full moon, being really connected with, that Piscean self of being really connected with your soul's needs. And then that Virgo of, being very analytical and logical and assessing your relationships, assessing what you're contributing to, and how you can be of service to others, right? Pisces, but also to yourself. Virgo is a very healing sign. So is Pisces. So, they heal in different ways. Virgo heals through facts, and Pisces heals through spirituality. So that's what this full moon is giving you the opportunity to do, is really, I just keep seeing this, like, put your glasses on and get to work. It's not about being pretty. It's about getting to the nitty gritty there. So let's see what the other aspects have to say. All right. We've got the Seven of Wands. I feel like there's a lot about being defensive about your choices. You've got the Sun. Oh, we're just going to wait for one more card. There it is. And the Queen of Cups. Yeah, so I feel like there's something about having to defend your choices to other people, that maybe the decisions that you've made haven't been received very well by others. Or maybe it's that you're getting too defensive, and that others may have something of importance and of value to show you, to share with you, that they may know better. They may see things that are going on in your life from an objective point of view, from this point of view that you need to implement yourself. Know that they're just trying to bring you joy. Know that they're trying to help you with your life. And, you know, maybe their intentions are great, but maybe the way they're going about it is a little in your business. So being honest, again, really, really being honest with them about who you intend to be, about the choices that ultimately are yours to make, but knowing that they are trying to help, their intentions are good, they just might not have the best ways of going about it. And then we've got this Queen of Cups. So this Queen of Cups, being really receptive of information, knowing that you have control over your emotions, being very much in tune with your emotions, but not projecting them out to everybody. And there are a couple of images of pregnancy in this too. We've got the Sun and the Queen of Cups, both pregnant. So let's see, Mercury trine Jupiter in Libra and Aquarius. Mercury's in Libra, so I think communication style right now is sort of not complacent, but it's in a way that, you know, you want it to be good for everybody. You want it to be fair for everybody. And maybe you might lose sight of what it is that you want because you're so concerned with how to appease everybody else and how to make sure that everybody else is pleased. And then we've got Jupiter in Aquarius. So really expanding on these new ideas of the innovation and of the progress that you're trying to make. These two are really communicating with each other in an easy way. It's a good aspect they're trying. So I'm curious to see how that's showing up in your life right now. The whole idea of other people trying to make decisions for you, and you have to speak up for yourself. All of these sword cards here are saying there's power in the voice. They're not just swords, they're voices. The Page of Voices, Seven of Voices, and Queen of Voices. There's power in this little thing that comes out of your throat. Use it. Really, really use it. Maybe it's your commitment to yourself that's being tested. So really listen to that voice, that inner voice that you have, and maybe let that inner voice come outside. Maybe you do quiet it a little bit too much. It needs to be shared. It needs to be shown. So let's pick some more cards. Yep. Ace of Swords, Knight of Cups, ooh, and the Three of Cups. Yeah, I am seeing some sort of romantic venture needing some clarity, and maybe seeing it objectively, who your partner is, who you choose to be with, needing to really, really be objective about if this is what's best for me right now. This is your Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is seeking clarity, and this hand is going right after it. You know, it's not even going towards the handle. It's going for the blade because it needs it desperately, and it knows just how powerful it is. It's got that crown on it. So seeking clarity out for clarity's sake, and releasing the ego when it comes to it, because when we seek out information that is for our best, for our highest good, sometimes it doesn't make life any easier. Sometimes it's hard to hear. Honestly, most of the time it's hard to hear because it means we need change. And if Venus opposite Uranus is prominent, if you have Taurus and Scorpio, or, you know, if this is playing out in some prominent way in your chart, then there are bound to be a lot of changes in relationships. So really trying to find the clarity that you want in a relationship. And maybe the clarity is that, you know, my anxiety keeps telling me that I'm unhappy in my relationship, but actually I'm pretty pleased. I'm pretty in love and I'm happy. So having to really like squash that anxiety down, or not down, don't repress it, speak up about it, get some help if you need to, but know that it's just anxiety and that's just fear. So finding where that fear stems from, right? The beginnings of these thoughts, that's also an Ace of Swords idea. But I do see this being about relationships. We've got the Knight of Cups, which charges forward with romance, maybe being a little bit too quick. So, you know, if you are in a relationship that's moving very quickly and, you know, you've committed without maybe even giving it thought, right? We've got this commitment being tested, to maybe reconsider and reassess. And I'm not saying to end it. I'm just saying to look at it objectively. Look at it as though it were your best friend in the relationship, and see how you feel about that. And then we've got the Three of Cups. So know that you always have your team. You have a community of people who care about you. It almost feels like it's the Sun card again, of people who just want to be involved in your life and want you to be happy, want you to have joy. So I just think there's that extra reminder of Don't be angry at your friends for expressing whatever opinions they may have. Just know that they're there to provide love and support and need to voice their opinions as well. So yeah, and knowing maybe that, wow, okay, so maybe none of this is even for you. Maybe it's for a friend in your life and you need to be that friend. Maybe it's not about being so supportive and everything. Maybe it's about being honest, because that's what a good friend does. Or of being supportive of their decision. Again, this is a general reading, so I don't have all the facts, but I do have the themes. I have the themes of friends wanting to give the other friend joy, wanting to be supportive, but also having to voice opinions. That top row, those 3 voice cards, really important to look at things objectively and promise to yourself that you'll put the effort in, and to speak up for yourself. So that was your reading. I hope you're doing well. Leave a comment below which card resonated with you the most. I'd love to hear from you. I am sending you a lot of love. Bye. All right, pile number 3. I've got your No Worries tea here. This is from Harvey Mountain Alchemy. You can buy them on my website, harveymountainalchemy.com. And this is a peppermint blend. It's great for relaxing and chilling out and maybe releasing some of that tension that's building up in your body. So we are going to pick a Moonology card because it is the full moon. And let's see what's coming up. Here it is. The answers you need are coming, and it's a full moon in Gemini, which would be square this full moon. All right, so maybe there's some Gemini going on in your chart, which would be an air sign and might work really well with all the other air placements we've got going on. So if you have Gemini placements, know that the Jupiter, Mercury, and the Mars, Saturn are all happening in trine with whatever you have in Gemini, depending on degree. So let's see what this full moon is bringing you, and then we'll get into the other aspects. We've got strength. Got the 6 of Cups, 6 of Emotions. And we've got the Hermit. Wow. Okay. So I feel like there's an element of needing to express your vulnerability and knowing that you're growing. There's growing pains going on right now. And that is absolutely valid to be feeling alone and feeling in pain, because growing hurts. But these are lessons that needed to be learned. And if they hadn't been learned before, they need to be learned now. We'll get into whatever those lessons are. But yeah, the answers you need are coming. So you may feel at a loss of information. You may not know what's going on. You may feel a little bit like you're still this little person inside of you. Your own inner child is screaming, unsure of what's going on. There's a lack of safety. There's this imagery of these greens and the blue. So this green is in the heart chakra here. It's where we feel love and compassion for others and for ourselves. It's where it's our unconditional love center. So there may be an element of growing through some difficult situations and knowing that how you deal with these circumstances will affect you for some time. So we have to tread very lightly about how we speak to ourselves, how we speak to others, and how we process the information of what's going on. These feel like a very tender and soft, emotional time. Both of these cards are like looking up and out, one towards the sun, one's at the moon. There is this, or actually I think that's the sun as well. I do think there's this element of looking towards something else for the answers. So the answers you need are coming. Know that it may be a wait that you're not very patient for, you're not enjoying it very much, but know that the answers are coming. So just keep being strong and know that you can do this by yourself. The Hermit is a lone wolf, but so capable. The Hermit is normally leading himself with a lantern that he's put his own light from within into the lantern. So he is following his own guide. And yeah, it may feel like this is so much harder than I thought it would be. This is so much more difficult than my self as a child thought being a grown-up would be, or something. That's what I'm really feeling, is this idea of having expectations of what your life would be like right now, and it's not that way. But just continue being your strong self. You may not even recognize how strong you are, but you do have a lot of strength in you, and it is all in you as an individual, just you alone. So you don't have to rely on others to make you feel good, or on others to give you that validation that you think you need. You can really give that power to yourself. That's what this full moon is really saying. And the sign Virgo, I always think it rules Chiron, which is our soul's wound. And it rules a beautiful style of healing, very different from Pisces. Pisces rules the soul healing, but Virgo does the actual nitty-gritty work. It assesses, it looks at all of the information, it reviews, and it collects data, and then it assesses what needs to be done physically, tangibly, and while Pisces does the work within of the soul. So know that your external circumstances, though they may be difficult and really pressing on your patience, there's a need to just sit with it and know that it'll all subside eventually. I just keep hearing, tread lightly. The way that you handle this situation will affect you for a long time to come later. So let's see what else we've got for this full moon, but let's look at the other aspects as well. We've got the High Priestess. Yeah, it's almost like what's happening right now is bigger than you think. It's bigger than you know. Got the High Priestess, the Queen of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. The choices that you make here really, really matter. Again, it's this treading lightly. I almost want to pull a card for what the situation is so I can get a little bit more specific. I will do that, but know that there's passion within you. You definitely have this passion that, and I think that's where we have to tread lightly. The circumstances that you're in right now, you can't just fix it with fire. You have to be soft and gentle with it. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable in the situation, even though that may give you growing pains. Maybe the growing pains is from allowing yourself to kind of release the shell and, let go of your lion self. So, there may be some Leo going on in your chart. Release that Leo, release that ego, that lion, that pride, and that forcefulness that you might have, maybe a little abrasiveness, and instead be on the softer side, be on the Six of Cups side, where you understand that there's another side to the emotions. There's another side to your emotions. It's not just you in this world, or in this circumstance that you're in. Know that what's going on is beyond just the physical. There's something spiritual and soul level that's happening in these circumstances that you're in right now. And yes, the choices that you make matter. Make sure that everything you do is led from the heart. It's led with love and compassion for yourself and for others, to treat yourself kindly and treat others kindly. So I just do feel like it's not up to you to make the ultimate decision to create the end game yourself, because the answers that you need are coming. This card, it makes me feel like it's out of your control. And this High Priestess card as well, these are not within your control. So all you can do about it is make sure that you follow your own path and that you stay strong in your own way, whether that means being vulnerable or whether that means finding some pride in yourself. So maybe that's that Mars and Saturn. That maybe what would be best for you, even though you have this Mars, exuberant, dynamic, fiery energy of moving forward, that maybe Saturn is there to restrict you in a good way. I would typically think that would be a square where Saturn is really making it difficult for Mars to move forward, but there's a trine going on here. There's an ease of energy between Mars and Saturn. So where there is action that needs to be taken, Saturn might just cover you with a blanket and make it a little bit softer, that action that you're taking, just to ease the edges a little bit. All right, so let's see what else we've got here. We're going to use the Relative Tarot deck by Carrie Paris. I love this deck. Ooh, 3 cards fell right out. Strength again, the Four of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. So this Strength again, I almost feel like she's leaving her kingdom, and she knows who she is. She knows her royalty. She knows she's strong. but she knows that there is strength to be found elsewhere as well. So I do feel like there could be an element of walking away from the situation that you're in right now. That there is strength in deciding that you alone are stronger than you in a royal family. We've got the Four of Wands. So again, that structure, that stability, that security. I almost feel like the home, leaving the home to find your own path, your own strength. And again, that would tie in with the Hermit. So if you're, you know, in a home situation that is not ideal and you're thinking of leaving, that might be what's best for you. It might not be best to just force yourself on the situation to make things better. What might be better for you is to forge your own path, to guide yourself, and to find other structures that might give you a little bit more security. And that feeling of celebration too. The Four of Wands is typically a wedding card. You know, there's an element of fun and joy in the fact that something is secure. So stepping away from what you think might be secure to find something else to implement more value. That really ties in with the Venus opposite Uranus, of having to just change your situation to find new love, new joy. And then we've got this Page of Pentacles again. So I love her like whimsical, what should I do with this pentacle I just found? You know, have a sense of curiosity, of exploration, of wonder when it comes to what you are implementing into your life, what new things you're starting in your life, what of value is coming in. Just sit and enjoy that. It's not all about go, 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 where Mars trine Saturn might be a great time for some people to go, go, go. But for you, this reading is more about you. Sure, you have the capacity to go and to move forward, take action, be abrasive, force yourself onto the situation. But it's actually more indicative of your strength to decide to restrain yourself and to decide to contain it, because it might not be the best action to take in this scenario. So that is your reading for this full moon. Let me know in the comments which of these cards resonated with you the most, or what's going on with you. I'd love to hear from you. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful full moon. Bye.